What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So tracking the federal balance sheet is important because I think sooner or later, as we said, the Fed will reverse its policy. And if you look at this, I mean, the pivot, we're not too far away. So if you're looking at where we are right now and a possible Fed pivot, and again, this is the only way for altcoins to do really well. And that is all it is. I mean, there's nothing else to it. There's no other magic to it. And what we're seeing right now is a short-term bounce, a relief, which is quite important. And we do like to have those types of reliefs in the market. If you look at this, Bitcoin right now, I do think that there is a possibility. I mean, look, let's look at both case scenarios, right? The best case and the worst case scenarios. So let me just show you. Where's my other chart? Right. This one's quite interesting, guys. So if you have a look at this, right? This line here, right? Look at this. I mean, we've got $72,000 level, right? And so if we take the last, let's have a look at the last dip. So this is the first dip that we've had, like the first serious, double top here. One. We had this, we had these, and then we obviously, this is back in, first one was in March, and then we had this downtrend that lasted quite a while, I would say. But if you look at this, then we went on to make new all-time highs, and I'm thinking of a similar scenario now, right now. We've had this downturn, and of course, the lowest we can possibly go. We went from 73 here, right? We were at 74, and then we went to 49. So similar scenario could happen, right? And this, guys, I'm a perma bull. This is not what I believe it's going to happen, but we need to prepare for all sides, okay? Because no one's talking about all kinds of direction. Now, this direction here was 109K into this range, and then we go back up and we do something crazy like I don't know, we end the cycle with around this level here, and that seems to be quite an interesting way to look at the market. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm only going by what's happened previously. That could happen. One thing that I'm liking is the BTC dominance on the daily is good. It's looking good. Now, could we see, look, if you look at this on the 2-day, right? This also has an opportunity to curl down and come down. And of course, if you look at this on the weekly, dominance still. So that would suggest to me that although there's a bit of pain left, right, on the higher time frame, and this is where, if we break it down to simple terms, this is where, where we could be before we see the ultimate collapse. And of course, start the alt rally in March. And that looks like the way things are going to be. We will get a relief rally. What we're having right now, clearly on the charts, is a relief rally. And that is because the Bitcoin and altcoins have literally bottomed. And, we're more or less closer to the bottom than we are anything else. So that's something to, that's very clear. With that kind of information, I'm very happy to, of course, be very comfortable in DCAing into my alts. Now, of course, Bitcoin versus the USDT dominance, which is another way of looking at this. And of course, this chart shows a beautiful inverse, and you can see BTC USDT dominance has tested the 3.8 level, 3.8% level twice before in this cycle, with each bouncing. Each test or bounce getting weaker and weaker. This test will likely to lead to a breakdown, and that is absolutely the way it's going to go, guys. So if you're holding right now, and if you're thinking you're going to be outsmarting the market because you're such a great timer of the bottoms, I would be worried. I would dollar cost average and make sure either hold my current coins or switch or whatever you want to do. But most important thing is to be able to get within range of making this leg out. And of course, how do we know we're close to the bottom? And the bear market is mentioned on crypto Twitter, and it's really going parabolic, right? Which indicates the bottom is in. No, you've never seen anyone posting PNL or going absolutely crazy with certain things they're doing across the board. But you have seen people saying that, this is, a bear market. Now that means, or the question is then, is the worst of things behind us? And even if it's not, based on the metrics that I've just shared with you, we're very, very close to it, guys. We're very, very close to it. And if you look at the Ethereum's, so this is the market cap of Ethereum versus, look at ETH, right? ETH has no, right now, ETH has no strength yet. At the end of the day, we can see here the market cap dominance, but that 78% retracement is probably a level that ETH is going to hold. The RSI you can see here on the weekly. And when you zoom out with the high time frames, you start to become less and less fearful, because you can see what's happening to Ethereum right now. It's only a matter of time before ETH starts going up and probably staying there for a bit in terms of market cap dominance, guys. So on a macro level, I think we're very comfortable. And of course, in terms of the bear market, I think the bottom is more closer than people think, if it's not already here, right? So this is the DXY. Now, historically, the DXY, a breakdown is, if you look at something similar happened back in 2016 to 2020. And of course, since 2024, the Dixie's been climbing quite rapidly and not really slowing down at all. Interesting. Absolutely interesting, because I think ultimately people actually will have the opportunity to get the perfect altcoin season. And of course, like we said, not everything's going to run, but to a degree, things should pick up quite nicely. Now, some people are saying that Trump's been setting up Elon Musk to go and investigate the Pentagon. This is going to be quite interesting. I mean, this is literally the hardest thing you can do. I mean, JFK and all of the other stories that's out there. Yeah, good luck to him for that, man. That's crazy. But anyway, let's continue with our crypto. Now, of course, ETH is another concern for ETH is basically the inflation, and people are just really asking. Ethereum inflation is inflationary again, as well as the Ethereum layer 2, so that's been a problem. So while I was researching this video, I came across the fact that we are now on a 20% faster adoption than the internet was. That's crypto and Bitcoin in general. And of course, this is going to be insane. The younger generation, inflation fears, and Trump's pro-crypto stance are fueling a massive surge for crypto adoption. Bitcoin ETFs are projected to hit a 250 billion, of course, and regulatory wins piling up. Crypto's mainstream takeover is going to accelerate. Now, of course, this is a BlackRock article, so you've got to pinch yourself with it. But I have actually seen on-chain metric confirmations of why the market is actually going the way it is. And if you look at this post by Wu Capital, all right, you see here, CoinMarketCap has reached nearly 11 million coins, driven primarily by the launch of meme coins. And they have a stricter criteria than, say, CoinGecko, right? On the Solana chain, with over 36 million altcoins in existence across the board, compared to less than 3,000 during 2018 cycle and less than 500 during the 2013 to 2014 cycle. That's absolutely insane. And that obviously brings us to many things. For example, Ethereum has been boosting transaction speed by 20%. And of course, gas limits have been increasing as well. So we've got to then go into the macro side of things. Again, the liquidity is running out, guys, whether people like it or not. At some point, the Fed will borrow the money, of course, and the temporary sale of securities will have to be forced at a slightly higher price. The deficit is here, guys. We are closer to QE than we think we are. All right. we are definitely closer to QE than most people think there are. So again, we're looking at layer 2 gas. This is all becoming quite evident. But one project that I wanted to talk about was Sonic, right? So I talked about this previously, and users now can execute transactions. 90% of the gas used goes to the DApp for them to do what they want, and 10% of the gas is going to validators. Now, Sonic, the goal is to make application costs basically non-existent, right? So it's a layer 1, and of course the layer 2s are executing the transactions on, let's say, Ethereum, and their goal is to make themselves the money. Now, this is going to be quite interesting, and I do believe Sonic as a whole is an interesting project to watch, because 90% of those fees are going to the creators of the dApps. So if the developers are being awarded and rewarded, right, then what do you expect is going to happen? Now, for those of you, obviously, you're looking for a large layer 1, Phantom's rebrand to Sonic and the subsequent upgrade, I think it's a super interesting one, right? It's a super interesting one. Why? Because they are giving the money to the dApps. And whenever that happens, it means more developers, therefore more activities, therefore a better price performance. Now, obviously, I can't guarantee price. I'm only bringing you the project. I think it's very important for you to consider what you want to do. Most people don't want to look into things that are quite obvious in front of them. But this chain is literally giving everything they can to their developers. And that's all I would say. The subsequent price pressure that you're seeing is mostly caused by the rewards and the upgrade from Phantom to Sonic, right? So that's quite that's an interesting one. But EVM L1 10,000 TPS, sub-second finality, 90% fee monetization. Why build anywhere else? So they don't say, you know, come and join us for whatever retail. They're saying why build anywhere else. Now, currently, Sonic is a better proposition than, say, in my opinion. Again, you know, we're looking at layer 1s, we're looking at large caps. I think Sonic's upgrade is a way better proposition for me personally than the likes of Say, and I do hold Say, right? So, you know, look, it's still very early. That's why you've seen, obviously, the market trend. If the market never trended down, obviously, because it's got a massive airdrop, I think the price would have been well over $1. But again, at 40 cents, I can't think of, you know, another layer 1 at this price doing the same thing. So if you look at our projects today, let me just refresh this. So what do we have? Sui is up 5%. Tau, impressive 9%. Of course, Kaspa, very sluggish at 2%. Phantom up 5%. And, you know, you can see here, you know, AI 16 up 23%. Toshi up 4%. Very interesting. I mean, still, you've got the likes of Aether down 4% in the last 24 hours. Cubic down 0.6 the last 24. I'm looking for life. I mean, recently Carrot's been running, but if you look across this, if you look across these projects, let's have a look and see if we can pick out some relative strength. GeoNet, super strong in my opinion. Look at that, CETIS bouncing with Sui. And again, you've got Carrot. Carrot was doing really well in the last preceding 24 hours. Reploy up 29 million, 12 million in terms of market cap. Very good. And then you've got some of them showing weakness. Of course, Mavia coming back, but 46% up for DEAI. And of course, you've got other smaller ones here. So overall, the market is what it is. If you're holding, I think, listen, your alts are not going to die ultimately. Some of them will outperform, but ultimately they're not going to die. And I would continue to watch these on relative strength. and make the best of it, guys. Anyway, I'm still holding my stuff. The bubbles look great. Things are looking at least a temporary relief before we proceed with either direction of the market. But like I said, I'm up for whatever the market puts my way. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.